I know. Rat. Everything.
Yeah. Okay, do you have your list?
Yeah. Do you know how to pronounce everything?
No, I do not.
Who knows how to pronounce it? Because I haven't even done that. Okay.
You do pretty well
I don't know how to
though.
pronounce it. Somebody has to pronounce it.
All right. Well, we'll do it together.
Okay.
All right. Let's just go right down the list. Shape, brain, dissection, inferior view, superior view. All right. Top of the list is arbor vitae. You know that's in the what? Back here, right? That's arbor means tree. So here's the white matter structure. It's this that makes up the white matter of the cerebellum, right? Best way to see it is this view. Cerebellum, remember the largest part of the brain. You have right and left, not cerebellum, excuse me. This is cerebellum, back here, also the hindbrain. Cerebrum is the larger part. So you have right and left hemispheres, cerebral hemispheres. So if I ask, what is this large part of the brain? Pin in it, cerebrum. We're not going to label the lobes on the sheep brain. It's not as clear what's frontal, occipital, and so on. But cerebellum, cerebrum, you can see central sulcus is not marked on the sheep brain. Let's go to the next one. Cerebrum, we mentioned. We're just going for the sheep ones. Corpora quadragemina. Alright, remember the quad means 4. Best way to see that on the sheep brain is to pop it open like that. You see the baby's butt? Alright. And we get the 4 from the fact that it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 structures. They're called colliculi. But together you just need to call it corpora quadragemina. Alright. Corpus callosum. White or gray matter? What do you think?
White.
Remember, it's larger relatively in the woman. We say the ratio is bigger. It's this one here. White matter. We'll pull it apart a little bit. And you can see that there's a ventricle there. That's a lateral ventricle. The top white matter structure is corpus callosum. The one underneath, fornix. So they're a pair. Alright, and they're clearly white compared to this gray matter here. Corpus callosum, fornix underneath it. Fourth ventricle. I'm going to see this view here. It's right at the base of the arbor vitae. Remember, ventricle is a chamber. So that's fourth ventricle. Hypothalamus is pretty tough to find on the sheep. Lateral sulcus. Lateral ventricle we mentioned already. One way to see it is here. But if I cut the brain in a frontal section down like this, I end up seeing it this way. Whoop, upside down. These are the lateral ventricles. 1, 2. The fornix is here. There's the third ventricle. Best way to see the third ventricle, I think, is this view. The lateral ventricles, third ventricle, the white matter in between, fornix. This curved one isn't very big here. That's corpus callosum. Same as this on the top. We just cut it that way. Let's see. Lobes we're not going to worry about. Longitudinal fissure. You probably know that one. Right down here. Alright, fissures are large depressions. The medulla oblongata. Alright, we know that's part of the brainstem, right? I'm going to turn it over. Spinal cord, medulla, medulla oblongata, and pons. Notice the sheep brain medulla is really large. Not so big on the human models. So pons is the top of the P, medulla, spinal cord. If we did a longitudinal section, most of this is medulla. It's not really very clear there, so I usually label it this way.
Dura mater.
Dura mater, this one doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would have the white, dense covering, and of course it goes over the whole thing. on your PowerPoint, there is a brain that still has the covering. Back when we ordered them like that, so the covering's missing. Olfactory bulb. Let's flip this over. Really large in the sheep, so it looks like a bulb. These are nice. Of course, that's for the olfactory nerve that's going to attach to that. So on the human models, remember, those are really small. It's a little skinny line. So people get a little confused with that. Optic nerve. Find the crisscross. This is inferior view. And these stumps are where the optic nerves would leave and go off to the eyes. The X is called the optic chiasm. So yeah, so that they've got an optic nerve / chiasm.
So if you point it in the middle, we have to know
The middle's the chiasm. Really, we don't talk about it too much. Just call this the optic nerve here.
Okay.
They do show it on the PowerPoint from this view. You can see that there's a piece of it. So if you're looking at your book and you see it there, it is there, but it's also shown from this view here.
Yeah.
Pineal gland. Is that on the...
No.
No, it's not listed on the sheet.
We're down. We did pons.
Pons, spinal cord, thalamus. Remember, that is deep. We're going to find it underneath the fornix. This was fornix, this is corpus callosum. This round structure here is thalamus. If we cut it this way, a frontal section, go back to this, all this round area is thalamus. Some nice and visible there as well. We already did third ventricle. Remember, that's going to be right there above the thalamus. Kind of in between it. Remember how I said the thalamus from each side comes together and makes an envelope? That's that envelope ventricle. Third ventricle. Is that it? Yeah, I can't think of anything else. Beautiful. You did not pronounce anything.
I can't pronounce it.
Yeah. So you will see those, and just because I label something here doesn't mean I don't label it on a human brain. We don't have that many structures, so I do duplicate a little bit. So don't think, well, she labeled corpus callosum here, it can't be over there. That's not, yeah, that's pretty common, but don't worry about that.